Welcome to our show offered by the people. Welcome to our show. You are the ghost. You are the host, guest, and sponsor. The ghost. You're not the ghost. You're the host, the guest, the sponsor. Welcome to our show. The ghost. We're gonna have a great show filled with knowledge, wisdom, intelligence. We're gonna continue reading Think and Grow Rich because we wanna think and grow rich. Don't you wanna think and grow rich with us? We're gonna keep reading. Don't go. Welcome to our show. Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich. Do you wanna think and grow rich? I wanna think and grow rich. Let us start reading. Don't go. We have a great show that you don't wanna miss. Without further ado, let us start right away reading Think and Grow Rich. This is where we ended up last time, and let's get into it. Who has not been schooled in the working principles of the human mind? These instructions may appear impractical. It may be helpful to all who fail to recognize the soundness of the 6 steps to know that the information they convey was received from Andrew Carnegie, who began as an ordinary laborer in the still of approval upon them as being a little cut, but Andrew Carnegie was a worker in the steel industry. Of approval upon them as being not only the steps essential for the accumulation of money, but necessary for the attainment of any definite goal. The steps call for no hard labor. They call for no sacrifice. They do not require one to become ridiculous or credulous. To apply them calls for no great amount of education. But the successful application of these 6 steps does call for sufficient imagination to enable one to see and to understand that accumulation of money cannot be left to chance, good fortune, and luck. One must realize that all who have accumulated great fortunes first did a certain amount of dreaming, hoping, wishing, desiring, and planning before they acquire the money. You may as well know right here that you can never have riches in great quantities unless you can work yourself into a white heat of desire for money and actually believe you will possess it. You cannot have a lot of money unless you really truly believe that you're gonna have all that money in your possession, because if you don't believe in it, what are the chances of it happening? You may as well know also that every great leader from the dawn of civilization down to the present was a dreamer. Are you a dreamer? Christianity is the greatest potential power in the world today. This was written way back. I don't have the exact date, but it was way back. It's the greatest potential power in the world today because its founder was an intense dreamer who had the vision and the imagination to see realities in their mental and spiritual form before they had been transmuted into physical form. See a reality in its mental form before it is physical. Wow. Can you see a reality in your mind before it becomes physical? Reality before it becomes physical. Let us keep reading. That's deep. Don't you think that's deep? I think that's deep. If you do not see great riches in your imagination, you will never see them in your bank balance. Never in the history of America has there been so great an opportunity for practical dreamers as now exists. This was way back in the Great Depression. Imagine now, all the opportunities. I think in the 1930s, I'm not sure. I'll Google it later, but opportunity back then. Imagine now, all the opportunity you have. You have the internet, you have a smartphone, you have books, you have a library, you have a guy on YouTube reading books with you and analyzing them. Why not? Let's keep reading. This music's good, but let's keep reading. Never in the history such great opportunity. The 6-year economic collapse has reduced all men substantially to the same level. A new race is about to be run. Sounds like, yo. To be honest, does this sound a little bit like Bitcoin? If Bitcoin is real, if it's gonna be the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of humanity ever made, then this kind of like relates to us today. What do you think? Do you think this relates to us today, like Bitcoin, and everybody kind of like on the same level now that you have the opportunity, like as it happened with Robinhood or GameStop rather, you have the opportunity to invest with the big guys. But this is deep. Let us continue reading. Everybody on the same level. Where are we? To the same level. A new race is about to be run. The stakes represent huge fortunes which will be accumulated within the next 10 years. The rules of the race have changed because we now live in a changed world. Back then he thought it was a changed world. Imagine if he was here today. That definitely favors the masses, indeed. Those who had but little or no opportunity to win. This sounds so much like the financial revolution that's happening right now in the world. Do you agree with me? Do you agree or do you not agree? I think we have so much opportunity and sometimes we don't even know it, but this book is opening our minds and eyes to see some of it. On the condition system of depression, when fear paralyzed growth and development. Back then in depression, fear paralyzed growth and development. We who are in this race for riches should be encouraged to know that this changed world in which we live is demanding new ideas, new ways of doing things, new leaders, new inventions, new... we had a cut, but you get the point. We need new forms of thinking in an evolving world, in an evolving place. You need evolution of thought as well. The business depression marked the death of one age and the birth of another. This changed world requires practical dreamers who can and will put their dreams into action. The practical dreamers have always been and always will be the pattern makers of civilization. We who desire to accumulate riches should remember the real leaders of the world always have been men who harnessed and put into practical use the intangible, unseen forces of unborn opportunity, and have converted those forces or impulses of thought into skyscrapers, cities, factories, airplanes, automobiles, and every form of convenience that makes life more pleasant. Yes, think about that. We didn't have airplanes at one point. At one point, airplanes were just a thought in the imagination of a man or a group of men, Wright brothers or Da Vinci way back. Cars, it was just a thought, imagination. Imagine nobody has ever seen a car. All they use is horses, and you come and you tell them, I have this idea for a machine that would just have 4 wheels and just go and take us super far, super fast. It would be 10 times faster than a horse and would be able to keep just going for like 5 hours straight all across the nation. They'll be looking at you like, what, are you crazy? Maybe back then? Imagine back then if you were alive. You were just a human being like any other human being. You've never seen a car. The only person who had seen a car, you know who was? Whoever had it in their mind first. As a thought, as imagination. And that's how everything else starts. Now that we see cars every day, it's easy for us to imagine, think of it, know it, understand it. Even in the background right now, some cars there. But imagine back then, it was just a thought, just a dream, just an imagination, and that's how everything starts. Those who are afraid of new ideas are doomed before they even start. Never has there been a time more favorable to pioneers than the present. I think that still applies today. True, there is no wild and woolly west to be conquered. There's no more Americas to be discovered, as in days of Copenhagen. But there is a vast business, financial, industrial world to be remolded and redirected along new and better lines. In planning to acquire your share of the riches, let no one influence you to scorn the dreamer. To win the big stakes in this changed world, you must cash the spirit. You must cash the spirit of the great pioneers of the past, whose dreams have given to civilization all that it has of value. The spirit which serves as the lifeblood of our own country. Your opportunity and mine to develop and market our talents. Let us not forget Columbus dreamed of an unknown world, staked his life on the existence of such a world, and discovered it. He discovered America. Copernicus, the great astronomer, dreamed of a multiplicity of worlds and revealed them. No one denounced them as impractical after he had triumphed. Nobody says, oh, he's crazy after you make the car. Nobody says, oh, he's crazy after you make this huge machine that weighs tons of pounds and flies from one continent to another. Once they see it flying, nobody says, oh, he's crazy out of his mind. Not anymore. Not anymore. You're not crazy once your ideas, thoughts, and dreams become reality. Instead, the world worshipped at his shrine, thus proving once more that success requires no apologies. Success requires no apologies. Failure permits no alibi. If the thing you wish to do is right and you believe in it, go ahead and do it. Put your dream across and never mind what they say. If you meet with temporary defeat, for they perhaps do not know that every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent cut. That was a great part that we don't have the PDF format. It's killing us a little bit, but I believe, and we can look this up later. That's your homework, my homework. But every failure brings a lesson. It brings insight. It brings intuition, and it gets us closer to that dream, that desire, that which we see in our minds. Every single time we fail, I would say, every single time you fail, that which is in your mind becomes closer to becoming a reality. Every single time you fail, that which is in your mind is closer to becoming a reality. That's it. Do you agree with that? Let me know in the comments. Do you agree with that or not? Okay, so let's keep reading. 1,000 failures. He stood by that dream until he made it a physical reality. Practical dreamers do not quit. William dreamed of a chain of cigar stores. William dreamed of a chain of cigar stores, transformed his dream into action, and now the United cigar stores occupy the best corners in America. Lincoln dreamed of freedom for the black slave, put his dream into action, and barely missed living to see a united North and South translate his dream into reality. Lincoln, respect, thank you. Because of him, today we are free. Life is as it is today. Many of the aspects of our lives because of Lincoln, because of his dreams, because of what he thought, we live in the way we live. And we give him thanks for being such a brilliant man with great, brilliant ideas that probably back then people would have thought were crazy. But now we have them. Don't take it for granted. Do not take it for granted. It all starts with ideas, thoughts, and dreams. And barely missed living to see a united North and South translate his dream into reality. The Wright brothers dreamed of a machine that would fly through the air. Now one may see evidence all over the world that they dreamed soundly. Every time you see an airplane, that was the dream of the Wright brothers. And now you see it. Marconi dreamed of a system for harnessing the intangible forces of the ether. Evidence that he did not dream in vain may be found in every wireless and radio in the world. Moreover, Marconi's dream brought the humblest cabin and the most stately manor house side by side. He made the people of every nation on earth backdoor neighbors. He gave the President of the United States. He gave the President of the United States a medium by which he may talk to all the people of America at one time and on short notice. And this, imagine he would have seen Twitter. But it may interest you to know that Marconi's friends had him taken into custody and examined a psychopathic hospital. They thought he was crazy. Now he announced he had discovered a principle through which he could send messages through the air without the aid of wires or other direct physical means of communication. What? Oh my god, they thought he was crazy. They thought the guy was crazy. Put yourself in their shoes, like they thought this guy was crazy. Imagine back then, way back, when all they had was letters and horses. This guy comes up and he says, yo, I have discovered a way to send messages across the nation through the air, no wires required. This one is crazy, people said. There was nothing even close to it. Imagine living back then. Will you believe the guy? Be honest, be honest. If you were back then in that place, would you believe this guy saying that he has a way? I have a way to send messages. Guys, you don't need letters. You can, like, through the air, like, signal, radio. You don't see it. You don't see it. Technical difficulties. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go. We are back. We're back. Camera has a little problems, but let's do it without my face. You don't have to see my face. We can interact and talk and be friends through the microphone. Okay, let's get back to it. We are back. Oh no, more trouble. Don't go. Don't go. A little music. Don't go. Let me. Give me 1 second. We are back. We are back. Are you there? Are you still there? Thank you for staying. Let us keep reading. Here we go. Messages through the air. Imagine messages through the air, man. It's crazy. Without the aid of wires or other physical means of communication, the dreamers of today fare better. The world has become accustomed to new discoveries. Nay, it has shown a willingness to reward the dreamer who gives the world a new idea. Thankfully, because of these people, way back then, you know, like, you would say you discovered something, and because people were so used to things being always the same and no discoveries being made, or they were like, what, are you crazy? There's no way you could do that. But now we have seen so many things that we know and understand that people could indeed create things which we don't even imagine could exist, and that is crazy. We take so much for granted. We don't even know how much we take for granted, because we were born in a world that had airplanes, most of us. I mean, I don't think anybody was born before airplanes who may listen to this. We had airplanes, or we have airplanes. We have cars, we have cell phones, we have the internet, we have TVs, we have radio. So yeah, we believe in inventions, we believe in discoveries. It wouldn't shock us somebody had an idea for what would have seemed like a crazy discovery way back then. So we're not worried about anyone taking us to the psychiatrist because we have a crazy idea. Let's keep reading. The dreamers of today for a better world has accustomed to new discoveries. Nay, has shown a willingness to reward the dreamer who gives the world an idea. The greatest achievement was, at first and for a time, but a dream. The oak sleeps in the acorn. The bird waits in the egg, and the highest vision of the soul, awaking angel stirs. Dreams are the seedlings of reality. I like that. Don't you like that? Camera is gone, but we can still interact. You hear my voice? Let us wait. That phrase was Let us. Where is it? Dreams are the seedlings of reality. So dreams are like a seed before anything becomes real. So like a plant growing up from a seed. Reality also grows up from a dream. Wow, that's deep, isn't it? That's very deep. Let us keep reading. Awake, arise and stir to yourself. You dreamers of the world, your star is now in the ascendancy. The world depression brought the opportunity you have been waiting for. It taught people humility, tolerance, and open-mindedness. The world is filled with an abundance of opportunity, which the dreamers of the past never knew or burning desire to be and to do is the starting point from which the dreamer has done in the way of harnessing and using the great water of power of America. We have a few cuts. A score of years ago, such a dream would have seemed like madness. You have been disappointed. You have undergone defeat during the depression. You have felt the great heart, or the great heart. You have felt a great heart within you crushed until it bled. Take courage, for these experiences have tempered the spiritual metal of which you are made. They are assets of incomparable value. Remember too that all who succeed in life get off to a bad start and pass through many heartbreaking struggles before they arrive. The turning point in the lives of those who succeed usually comes at the moment of some crisis, through which they are introduced to their other selves. John Bunyan wrote The Pilgrim's Progress, which is among the finest of all English literature, after he had been confined in prison and sorely punished because of his views on the subject of religion. Henry discovered the genius which slept within his brain after he had met with great misfortune and was confined in a prison cell in Columbus, Ohio. Being forced through misfortune to become acquainted with his other self and to use his imagination, he discovered himself to be a great author instead of a miserable criminal. He was a great author. Strange and varied are the ways of life, and stranger still are the ways of infinite intelligence, through which men are sometimes forced to undergo all sorts of punishment before discovering their own brains and their own capacity to create useful ideas through imagination. Create useful ideas through imagination. Through imagination, useful ideas. Just keep reading. The imagination. Edison, the world's greatest inventor and scientist, was a telegraph operator. He fell innumerable times before he was driven finally to the discovery of the genius which slept within his brain. Charles Dickens began by pasting labels on blacking pots. The tragedy of his first love penetrated the depths of his soul and converted him into one of the world's truly great authors. That tragedy produced first David Copperfield, then a succession of other works that made this a richer and better world for all who read his books. Disappointment over love affairs generally has the effect of driving men to drink. And women, oh man, we have cuts bad. Negative. What they mean, I'm pretty sure, is they have negative effects in your life, but if you harness your power of thought, your brain, rationality, you could make a beautiful moment result out of those negative times. Robert Burns was an illiterate country lad. He was cursed by poverty and grew up to be a drunkard in the bargain. The world was made better for his having lived, because he clothed beautiful thoughts in poetry, and thereby plucked the thorn and planted a rose in his place. Booker T. Washington was born in slavery, handicapped by race and color. Because he was tolerant, had an open mind at all times on all subjects, and was a dreamer, he left his impression for good on an entire race. Beethoven was deaf. The master of music, Beethoven, was deaf. Milton was blind, but their names will last as long as time endures, because they dreamed and translated their dreams into organized thought. I think we can leave it here for now. Well, it's been an amazing episode. We have grown, we have learned. I really enjoyed your presence. I hope you come back next episode. We want to learn more. Gonna be fun. Please subscribe. Please like. Help us grow. Please help us grow. Follow us. Subscribe. Like. If you're seeing us on YouTube, what do you call it? It's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. The link is on the. Let's go. Hopefully the microphone is working. Hopefully you can hear this, and yes, that's pretty much it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being with us. I really appreciate your time. We'll see you later. Next episode, we're gonna keep thinking, grow rich. Thank you. I'll see you later. Take care. Goodbye, genius.